everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is, I think, probably my final installment of my fantasy unit. As you can see in all my videos, you'll see part 1, part 2, part 3 of how to draw for fantasy. In this particular one, it's to illustrate how to draw fantasy objects, meaning swords and crowns, and such things that go on fantasy cartoons or fantasy movies like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and such things. This particular one is the rose from Beauty and the Beast. So the first part is to draw the rose, and in the movie it is just floating in midair. And so it's a great still life exercise on how to draw, say, flowers. Then after that, it is closed with a glass orb, so you have to study how to draw something translucent, something see-through like glass. So in a minute after I'm finished painting the light and shadow on the rose, I will demonstrate how to do a reflection on, say, glass. So glass, you can use lots and lots of blues, very pale to very thick, to illustrate something translucent. So the important part is to have those 2 or 3 little bits of reflection that you just leave white, like the page on the left and the right, and it should be, if it's a curved piece of glass, the white piece that you're going to leave out should have a bit of a curve, so obviously do your pencil work beforehand, and make sure that all the pencils solidified, so all you have to do is your watercolor afterwards. So the effect of the glass going around the rose, you're supposed to at least make it look like the rose is floating in midair inside a glass orb. By doing that, just use a little bit of light and shadow. Very pale in the front, and even the back of the glass, you should have at least 2 or 3 little areas of very dark, and make sure the paint is going right to the edge of your glass in the back, and make it look like it's 3-dimensional. And then in the front, a little bit paler, because it's closer to the viewer. So a little bit darker in the back, pale in the front, and obviously a little bit of dark light and shadow on the edge of the glass. On the bottom, put a little bit of a horizon line to indicate the back of the table that it's resting on. And in the movie, there are a few petals that have already fallen on the ground. So obviously a little bit of light and dark for the petals, and make it look like the petals are flat on the ground just by making them a little bit narrower and not obviously round like the petal should be if it was standing upright. And then put a little bit of a background around, and a trick is to have your background not go all the way to the edge of the glass, have a little bit of a white around the edge. So thank you very much. Stay safe and keep creating.